It's your boy, Jim CB. Welcome back to the channel. You can like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, man, and we are back with another clip, another video, and some things to get into with our thoughts, man. Stay tuned for the commentary, and I'll be with you shortly.
It's your boy Jim CB, and we're back with another video, man. And this time, this thing's about to get a little crazy. So, with a recent episode of Joe Budden podcast, Joe put some smut on Frank Ocean's name. He said that Frank Ocean is overrated and a scammer. Now, I mean, Frank Ocean at this point is known to pop in and pop out, career-wise, drop something, duck off, things like that. But I guess this is in relation to the Coachella performance where he didn't show. He didn't show, or I guess like he didn't show up, as in like a lack of performance. I don't know, but let's get into what Joe has to say.
It's like unfairly weaponizing your fan base against someone else because like they probably blaming Coach Abadianis.
Frank is like, the word I like to use is like
Scammer.
I was going to use the word mercurial. That was the word I was going to use.
What is that? What is it in the sentence?
And using it, he's...
So Ice, from Joe Budden podcast, says that Frank Ocean is overrated. Talent-wise, I feel that Frank Ocean is phenomenal. When he steps out and when he puts his best foot forward, he's one of those dudes. Like you said, Nostalgia Ultra, classic project. Channel Orange, phenomenal. The Blonde and the Endless joint, I only like the few songs off of those, so those weren't it. But then you gotta think about the Art Future run and, you know, some of the features he's done. We know that he's capable of being a top tier artist. But the issue is he disappears, comes back, and it doesn't result in music all of the time. And I think that's the issue with them calling him overrated. The catalog is not there. What he has there is, some of it is phenomenal, some of it is great, some of it is some of the best music that we've heard him on. But some of that music has been a little bit lackluster in certain people's opinion. And then when he comes out, he either halfway does his performance. It's like he's just disinterested in the art form, and in doing music. And he only does it for checking and bounces. That's what it seems like. And, you know, Ice is upset, saying, man, you disrespecting your fans, which, in a sense, you gave them some great material, and then you leave and come back, so it longs them for one. Let's take it for instance, if an artist drops a classic album tomorrow, and it's 16 songs, and all 16 of them songs are fire songs, and they don't ever let you down, and you just hit play and just, oh man, the album is over, oh, I loved it, and play it again, and play it again, and play it again, and play it again. And that's your joint, but it's not just you, it's just everybody you know, your whole cities or your whole inner circle, everybody in the culture is just blasting this one album constantly. And that album has just become an undeniable classic. And then that artist that made that phenomenal body of work just takes about 6 years off. Right? Doing well, okay, no, short than that, 3 years off. Then drops another phenomenal body of work, phenomenal class, then takes another 4 years off. But in between those 7 years and those two projects they dropped, 2 mixtapes that was just as good as those albums. Like, it could have been an album too. So you got 4 projects from this individual that's just like instant, undeniable classics, right? And even after those 3 and those 7 years, that gap, all those projects, you still hit play and let them play through, and they stood the test of time, because that's the thing. Is it as good? If it's good right now, will it be good 2 years from now? Will it be good 3 years from now? Will it be good 5 years from now? When those projects have that longevity and it lasts like that, and it makes you relive those moments in time, that's how you know that artist is cemented, right? And when you get an artist like that, and then they leave, come back, and it's like, okay, boom, now I'm gonna leave for 10 years. And that's all they had was those 4 projects you put out there. They become obsessed with the fact that you come back out. Think about Rihanna's break between the last album, Anti, and what the new project may be. It's been a while, but everybody is longing for Rihanna music because Rihanna's dope. But Rihanna's had like 7 or 8 projects. So, and each one of those projects has spawned at least 2 to 5 hits. So the content is undeniable from Rihanna. Same thing with people like Frank Ocean. It's rare that they drop duds, right? And when they do drop duds, depending on how long they've been away from the game will depend upon how the fans react to it. They get excited over every little snippet, every little bar. They do an Instagram post or a Facebook post with any type of new music attached. Because you haven't heard from them in a while, you get excited. Same thing with the Jay-Z verses. When he drops a verse or he drops a feature on somebody else's project, the fans go nuts because they know the body of work. And that's what's going on. A lot of times when an artist knows that what they're capable of in their body of work, they sometimes extort the fans. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like that's what they're upset about. He's scamming and he's, overrated compared to other artists. No, I'm not. I wouldn't say that he's overrated because the talent level is there. It's always going to be there. Yo, if you're nice, you're nice. If you got great writing ability, you got great writing ability. And you can capture that audience. But if the bodies of work are not there, you're not present. Each performance, you just saying like, I'm just doing this to do it. I don't really want to be here. Blah, 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 blah. Et cetera, et cetera. You leave people to be like, man, what this dude doing, man? Why he gotta? And that's how they feel about Frank Ocean. I don't know, man. Anxious to hear things from him. Anxious to get back into what they got to say, man. It's interesting debate. But Ice is clearly upset. Parks is like, Blonde's, he's like, Blonde was no, you out of your blonde mind. But that was hilarious to me. Yeah, crazy.
Scammer.
Why is he a scammer?
Man, I was wait.
So Joe calls him a scammer. And here's the thing where I think people always get upset with Joe Budden. Sometimes brutal honesty and the blunt nature of a conversation and how you word something can leave your feathers ruffled if you're on the receiving end of it. So Parks was like, hey, he showed up late. He's like, it's disrespectful to the fans. He basically don't give a fuck. And now we're about to find out why Joe feels he's a scammer. And it's also a thing where it's funny because I love to hear him go off because he's gonna go on a rant. So a lot of Kanye Joe similarity shit going on when they go on a rant, but man, it's crazy.
I still like that bullshit. I like more now. For the way he got out of his universal culture. I think that was just that's genius thing. I think that was genius. No, I think most of the scams are genius. True. Got a loophole into me. So he'll always wear the scammer tag. For me, that fucked up a lot of artists sitting there. Lost a lot of artists during, he didn't care. Took Apple out the game. He didn't care. But I'm not so mad at that. Everyone used to do exclusives before he did that shit. What the?
Also, it seems to be Joe's not actually upset. He's just like, you screwed it up for a lot of artists when you kind of played Apple Music with the exclusive deal and things like that, and you also played Def Jam. So I guess what he did was make an album which was partially blonde and the other half was partially and listen, there's kind of a couple songs like it's weird. It wasn't complete exclusive, and it bailed him out of his album deal with Def Jam, and it also fulfilled his obligation with Apple Music, but they gave him the bag up front, most of the money, because he's Frank Ocean, and he delivered Nostalgia Ultra, Channel Orange, and a bunch of features and things like that, and he was killing his performances. So, but I don't understand how they don't understand that or looked at the background, because he played all Future. He used them to get on, and then he left the group once he started to get hot. And he just did the same thing to Def Jam. Oh, yo, roll out on them, get this bag, run it up. And I mean, it worked for the scam, but at the end of the day, now it's like, okay, this could have labels and companies looking like, okay, this could happen if we do the thing we did with Frank Ocean. So now artists are not getting those exclusive deals. It's tying up certain revenue streams, and it's like you screwed up your contemporaries, and you screwed over your fellow artists and creatives when you did that, because now you are the blueprint of what not to do. And it was genius, but you didn't invite everybody else to the party. So in doing what you did, you made that move too soon. So what happened was you closed everybody else out of deals like that. So for people who were going to do what they were supposed to do, honor the deals the way they should have, you kind of put a wrench in their game plan. And yeah, that's some scammer behavior. But the scam was genius. It was genius, but it just you just blocked everybody else. You got the deal you needed and closed the door behind you, and left everybody else outside, basically. I don't think he's overrated, though. I think the talent is there. I think the work ethic is the thing that's overrated and the thing that's not being spoken about. Because the talent is there, but the work ethic isn't. The drive to do so seems that drive is not there, and it doesn't allow him to complete his obligations as an artist.
That is my problem with fucking black. It's my problem with all of the artists that feel like they can drop every 6 years. Right?
So that's the issue. They drop phenomenal pieces of work, and then they wait 6, 7, 10 years to drop another project, and it leaves the fans longing. And how can you consider yourself great when you're not consistent? You do what you feel like it when you want to. Like, so for instance, if I drop a masterpiece tomorrow, because I'm an artist and I'm nice like that, I drop a masterpiece tomorrow, and then I say, oh man, everybody loves it, then I don't drop again. This just like when Jay-Z did Reasonable Doubt, and he was like, that's gonna be his only album. What if that was his only album? Or what if he'd been like, okay, once he got the Hard Knock Life, all right, that's it, I ain't doing no more albums. It leads the fan like, man, how you gonna do that? You feel me? Like, how you gonna do that? Like, Tupac and Biggie, they passed away. That's different. We can't receive any more music from them. These people are still living, breathing. Okay, Lauryn Hill did what she did with the Fugees, dropped her classic Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and bowed the fuck out. Like, that's, people get upset about it. It's a beef for people who love what you do. But sometimes the artists, they don't feel like that. They feel beaten, discouraged, and they're turned off by certain things in the industry. And maybe that situation where Frank Ocean is turned off of the industry is the thing that he did with giving Def Jam one album that wasn't an actual album just to fulfill his contract, keeping the money that Apple gave him to finish the album, and then going back and turning the real album in exclusively to Apple Music and getting that second bag. Apple was cool, Universal was upset, so therefore now everybody who backed you from the Universal tree, the Def Jam tree, they not rocking. They still got some bitterness over there because you played them, and you basically did bad business on that end. I was kind of effed up, man. So yeah. So that may be why we don't see a lot of Frank Ocean, or Frank Ocean doesn't do a lot of things that, they want done. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, man. It's Jim's TV out, man. Y'all have a blessed one. Be